Welcome to the next video. This pillar has everything to do with your time, okay? One of my goals as a coach when I take on a new entrepreneur is to get their time back, okay? Now, with what I'm about to tell you in this video, you might be able to get some time back right away. Because if you remember from the first video, if you're spending every waking hour on your business or on one of the pieces of the wheel of life, they can't all grow holistically, and you're actually going to be stuck because you get to a plateau with the business when you can't actually think about it anymore. So a couple of concepts I'm going to throw at you right now. To master your time, it's a lot of, yes, it's planning, but it depends on you and the way that you work most productively. So there's all kinds of books. I've read every single one of them. You guys have probably read a bunch of them too. Things like Eat That Frog, GTD, all these productivity systems. They're all good, okay? But figuring out what works for you is the real trick. So I'm going to give you a couple of tips that kind of work for every single person, and where they go in the day is going to be kind of up to you. Number one is you have to sleep. Okay. I'm coming out of the health and fitness and I'm transferring a lot of this knowledge into entrepreneurship. If we want to run on all cylinders, which all entrepreneurs do, everybody wants to be hard charging in everything they do. They want to live life at an 11 out of 10. It's typical of the entrepreneur life. Okay. If you don't sleep, it's not going to be possible. You're just not going to have the energy. So what does sleep mean to you? It's individually dependent. Some people need 11 hours a night. Some people need 4. Most people don't need 4 though. Okay, and the people that have popularized it, they're outliers. Okay, so once you have enough sleep, actually time chunking your days is of the utmost importance. So why do I say this? Because the human brain takes 30 minutes just to switch tasks. Okay, as an entrepreneur, you're switching tasks all the time. Okay, and as you move to CEO, it's actually not going to change. You're just you're higher level than being a solopreneur. Okay, so what do I mean? Right now, you might be wearing all the hats. You might be in sales, in marketing, accounting, finance, fulfillment, client services. You might be wearing every single hat. Every single hat requires an actual change in thought process. If you're in accounting land, for example, that is a totally different headspace than taking on a new client or coaching a client or making a sale, right? So time chunking is chunking all these tasks into similar things. Okay? So sales is one thing. Marketing is a different thing. Accounting is a different thing. And if you set up chunks of time with similar things, then you're good to go. The next tip here is planning your next day the night before. I like to do it at the end of the workday because I do a little bit of a review, right? And I teach this a little bit more deeply with my clients, but I want to give you the basics. Quick daily review flips into what I'm doing tomorrow, and you can map out your time chunks in that process. Makes it super easy, and then if you just stick to the plan that you designed for yourself, you're good to go. Another little tip is not biting off more than you can chew. So if your to-do list is 500 things long, which most entrepreneurs' to-do list is, don't use the running to-do list. You're never going to get it done. It's just overwhelming. So pick 1 to 3 things you're going to get done. Everything else is bonus. Okay. Mastering your time and your energy is one of the biggest shifts that you can possibly make. So I gave you a couple little tips there. The next one is actually transitioning. So I talked about how the human brain takes 30 minutes to go from one thing to the next. So what if you programmed in a transition routine where part 1 was kind of dumping all the stuff that you just did and then getting into the new headspace. So this is super, super important because it's not just workday tasks, right? It's also how you show up when you come home at night, right? Are you the husband, the wife, the dad, the mom the friend that you want to be? Or do you bring all your stuff from work home because you're still thinking about it, because you haven't processed it? So important, whatever that means to you to transition. I have a specific process that I teach, and I'm not going to get into that because it's just a really short video, but just hearing this, you might be able to implement it right away. Transition all of the, not only the time chunks in the workday, but all the different hats that you wear outside of work too. That way you can show up 100% and compartmentalize all the different things, aka growing holistically and giving your full attention when you're in that headspace. We'll see you in the next